Welcome back to the Movie A Day podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. My name is Grant, and I'm your host for this podcast. With me, as always, to dive into the world of cinema, we have Sky.
How's it going?
Pretty good, Sky. And Ryan.
That's me.
All right, and for this episode, we are going to talk about the movie Ingrid Goes West, directed by Matt Spicer, starring Aubrey Plaza as an unhinged social media stalker who moves to LA to stalk an Instagram star played by Elizabeth Olsen. So, this movie is available to watch for free with a Hulu subscription. So I would highly recommend watching it. Just a spoiler for what I think of the movie. But let's hear some initial thoughts and recommendations, starting with you, Sky.
Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought it really captured the plague of social media like extremely well. Like I was not expecting it to be about social media like at all, I guess. I really knew nothing about this film, but I thought it did a really good job explaining, without spoiling like what it was trying to explain, which we'll get into in the spoilers later. But yeah, I thought all the acting was really good. Yeah, I mean, I really can't think the writing was good. Yeah, there's no like obviously like visual effects really or anything like that, but they did a good job having this. I think it took place somewhere in California, LA probably, which is perfect for this movie. It definitely had a clear vision, and I think even like with the way the movie ends, like everything fits in with what the movie's trying to say. So I would 100% recommend it, and yeah, I'll leave it to you, Ryan.
Definitely relatable. Very, very relatable. In this day and age, just goes to show you what kind of weird people are out there, man, on the internet. Just be careful. In the case of this movie, this girl becomes Aubrey Plaza becomes so obsessed with an Instagram star, who's played by Elizabeth Olsen, to reiterate, that she literally just follows everything she does on social media, learns not exactly, but learns pretty damn close who that Elizabeth Olsen's character is just by following her on social media all the time, and she kind of understands what she likes, what she doesn't like, finds common interests or whatever, so when she ends up, trying to pursue that, she's more prepared, and that just goes to show you that it's real. Like, people actually do this stuff, and just because social media is getting so big in today's world that people are like relying on social media, and like some people take stuff to social media that shouldn't be on social media, and everything that gets put on there is permanent, and can't get rid of it. So yeah, as far as that's a realistic factor for me, that it really did it for me. Other than that, yeah, it was shot really well. The acting was really, really good overall. Forgot to mention that it starred O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is Ice Cube's son, and he did a great job in it as well. Yeah. Graham, what are your initial thoughts? Oh, I would recommend watching this, by the way. Sorry, forgot to mention that. I always forget
Thanks,
that.
Ryan. So I found this to be a very interesting character study of someone that their entire life is consumed by social media to the point where she would, on a dime, move to a different city in a different state and take essentially all of her money, put into this as well. Change her appearance, change her personality, change just about everything just to be quote unquote friends with someone who's popular on social media. That's a really interesting thing this movie has going for it too. How she considers her definition of friendship is very, very different to someone who is normal. I hope she has a very different definition. We could be going in a different way these next couple decades, but yeah, very, very interesting character study. Has a lot of interesting things to say about social media. It's a pretty funny movie, at least for the first half and 2/3, but don't go into this movie thinking it's a comedy. This movie does take some dark turns. I won't get too much into it, obviously. But yeah, very, very strong recommendation for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's get into spoilers.
Let's.
Okay, so right off the bat, I just have a quick question. So, has she been doing stuff like this before? Because it looks like
Yes.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure, because it seems like she's been doing this. So this is just like her routine, essentially.
Because
She finds a new
'cause
person.
She had the girl at the beginning. That
Yeah.
she like shows up at her thing, and
Yeah, and has the whole like at her wedding, and they go through the same cringy, but like it's on purpose. Like, oh my god, this movie makes at least it makes me cringe so much because like I can't
yeah,
social media, but like oh my gosh, it's like cringy in a funny way. For me. It makes me laugh and cringe at the same time. But
So yeah, she moves to LA. She changes, like well, I guess we should say too, her mom died,
Yeah,
and
that's why
like she was at an Aubrey Plaza was in like a halfway house. So she left the halfway house. Her mom died, and she gets an inheritance. I can't remember off the top of my head how much the inheritance is, but it's quite a bit.
I think it's like 80 grand or 50 grand. It's not like obscene, but it's like enough to like you could, do a lot with.
It's like a year's it's like a year's salary for
Yeah.
a decent amount of people. But yeah, then she moves to LA because she finds I think it was just random, wasn't it? She like found like Elizabeth Olsen's character on like Instagram, and she's like enamored. He's like, all right, I gotta move to LA and become her friend. And that's exactly what she does.
Well, I think just because like Elizabeth Olsen's character has so many like followers on Instagram and stuff, and like she just popped up on her feed, and she's like, "Oh, I want to be known." Like because if her plan was to like become her friend and then kind of leech off of her popularity on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a big part of this movie. Because Elizabeth Olsen does that to Harley Chung, who's played by oh my gosh, what's her name? She has a weird name. Pom Klementieff. She's also from Avengers. She's the bug-eyed girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everyone's like leeching off each other to get their like fan base. Like they're taking pictures, they're trying to go to the same event to be like, and it's like this artificial friendship you're doing, but you're also doing it with the hidden motive of like trying to become more popular and make more money, because that's how Elizabeth Olsen makes all of her money, is by being like an influencer on Instagram. So I guess my question is to you guys, do you think that is her main goal, Aubrey Plaza, like Ingrid? Do you think her main goal is to get a fan base so people are interested in her life? Or does she just want a friend? Because that's what I'm a little, I guess, confused by.
I think the popularity is just an added bonus. I think she's just really lonely, and she just like wants a friend, but she doesn't really know like what friendship really means. Like she thinks like she's Elizabeth Olsen's friend. She like goes to all these things. Like she goes to great lengths. She goes to the same restaurant, the same like clothing store, like buys the same books, gets the same clothes, just
buys her husband's art that no one wants.
Yeah.
yeah. which is amazing, by the way. I want
Hashtag squad.
Yeah.
squad goals. It has like the horses.
Yeah. Oh my
Amazing.
God.
That was so funny. Just buy it. Nobody's
Yeah,
ever bought
so
his art
really,
before.
like- It gets really sad too towards the end.
Yeah, it does, cause like you get like she's like out of money and Elizabeth Olsen doesn't want her around anymore. She just kind of starts to fall apart.
Yeah, I really like the stuff with O'Shea Jackson as well.
Yeah, because he
He's
actually
like-
treats her like an actual friend,
Like,
and she
really
kind of
well.
sidelines him
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
until
Yeah,
the
she,
end, I guess.
She really doesn't treat him very well too. She like borrows his truck and like not only doesn't bring it back on time for like the show, but like scratches the hell out of it. Like,
Yeah. And then
No, that's what
and
I'm
then
saying.
she strings him
Yeah.
along as like a boyfriend, right? Fake boyfriend or whatever, and he kind of like treated it like it was real, and she was just kind of using him to score some extra points.
Yeah. I loved all of his. I loved his like fandom of Batman,
Yeah, he loves Batman.
but the humor of that just like there's so
He
many
was-
great lines.
Yeah, he was by far the person who made me laugh the most in this movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, just like there's so many like cringe moments too, though, like where she's just like so obsessed with Elizabeth Olsen, right? Like she just does like some of the weirdest things.
Yeah, I
So-
guess like we should mention too the moment that she does like really get into her faction is she actually like or Aubrey Plaza, she goes to Elizabeth Olsen's house and steals her dog. And then once the wanted posters come up, she calls. It's like, yeah, I got your dog, and then returns the dog, and
Yeah,
they have her for
that's how it
dinner.
gets started.
and so way down we go.
I'm trying to think of like another.
I mean, I would say the movie also just
Oh,
kind of
the cringe with like, sorry, but like the cringe for me was like one of the big cringes is when she got that money from her mom and like she spent all of it and like that was like her mother's like inheritance, right? Like for her, and it's like that money was supposed to like, go for something important, not this, and then she kind of just blows it all and. It's just like, man, you could like she
Yeah,
got
like in
herself a
3
house,
months.
but it was like,
oh, she just got rent for like 3 months. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah. I guess I was just gonna say I thought the movie did a really good job showing the like fakeness of social media too. How like people are essentially living fake lives
mm-hmm.
to like show off or and get more fans to be like an influencer on social media, and like everyone's just constantly trying to do things with that goal, and they're not even doing it because they want to. It's literally like they're just in this like toxic ecosystem where they're just like, we need to get more viewers, we need to keep going to these parties because this famous person will be there, and then like I'll get pictures with them, and it's just this fake friendships everywhere. And yeah,
I like how we learned too. Like I would say, like 2/3 or so of the way in, where Elizabeth Olsen, like I guess obviously Aubrey Plaza's like a lot of her bios are like kind of faked and borrowed from other people, but even Elizabeth Olsen's like thing where she wants her like house or whatever, and I forget what she was gonna name it, but she literally took that like from her boyfriend. Like her boyfriend wanted that.
Yeah, that's one of the things she spent the money on.
So
no, yeah,
like once you hear that, it's like how many of the other things that she like faked and borrowed from other people.
yeah, it's like making yourself based on what other people want. You're like, ooh, I think people would like that if I was like that, liked these things or
Mhm.
did these things. So that's what I'm gonna do. So you make your whole life this artificial thing to please everybody else, and that's what like everyone does in this film, except for O'Shea Jackson Jr. His character is like the most down to earth. Like he loves Batman. He goes
Yeah.
to like dress up Comic-Con things because he's so into Batman.
Yeah, and he's the landlord. You know, he just collects his money. Like, he makes his money the hard way by earning it.
Yeah, I thoroughly. He was by far the character that I like connected to the most, just because I was just like, oh my god, people are so toxic. Like, ugh.
Oh,
I mean, I guess I felt a little bad for Audrey Plaza, but like
a little bit.
at the same point, she like reaps it. You know, you reap what you sow. You're all involved with this. Like, ugh, it's just.
What did you guys think of like Elizabeth Olsen's brother when he came in?
He was crazy.
Yeah, that kid was nuts. Like,
yeah, I love how he blackmails Aubrey Plaza for a phone. It's like, what did he say it was? Like $5,000 a month or something like that?
Yeah.
To like just to have her phone, or else like he was gonna tell like Elizabeth Olsen like all the like weird stalker stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so even him, he's really not a good brother because you think he would be watching out for his sister, but instead, all these people just care about money and like fame and all this stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely like a character that I kind of knew was gonna kind of throw like a wrench into the whole system first, because like there's no way Aubrey Plaza could have kept that up. Like, there's just no way. I mean, I guess Elizabeth Olsen did, but like once you establish that popularity, like you're just kind of set, because then you just keep building off of that fan base. It's kind of weird to say, but
which kind of leads into the ending. I'm really curious where that leaves Aubrey Plaza's character, because like it is still kind of a dark ending. Like, she's broke and she doesn't really have anything. I guess we should say too, she attempted to commit suicide and lived, and like she videotaped it. Yeah. And then at the end, like, she's in the hospital bed and she's alive, and she's trending now, and everyone's like, oh, like, you're so beautiful and all this. Like, what was the hashtag? It was like, I am Ingrid or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something cheesy.
So like, and she's obviously like stoked. She's like, oh, I got this popularity, like, hell yeah. But then you think about it, it's like, oh, she's still broke and all this. And then the cherry on top is, after like all the voiceovers of like people saying I am Ingrid, Elizabeth Olsen's voice is the last one to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So you think, oh, now she's gonna jump back on the train. And
well, see, that's what it all is, right? Like, she actually, I mean, from her perspective, like from Elizabeth Olsen's perspective, Audrey Plaza was kind of being, I guess, quote unquote, a good friend. I mean, she was doing it for like bad motives, but she was like there whenever she needed her, was like willing to drive her around, buy her things, like always there to listen to her, like just wanted everything to be about, Elizabeth Olsen's character. But then as soon as like the person shows up who has, more views and followers, she completely disregards her and is like, oh, I want to suck up to this person because I can get something from them. And that's exactly what that ending means to me. Like, she's like, oh, Ingrid's got like a ton more followers now. I'm going to follow her and like, we're going to be friends. Because that's what I will say, Grant, like Ingrid's going to make a ton of money now from this based on like how many followers she got.
She's going to get like donations and stuff.
Yeah. Or yeah, they're just going to get ads and like, I don't know how all that stuff works, but like she got like a ton. She's like, trending. So I think she's going to like go back to these like fake things. Hopefully not, because obviously O'Shea Jackson Jr. was with her, but I think it does kind of end left open like, oh, gee, I don't think she's going to learn her lesson, because everyone now is going to want to like hang out with her.
Yeah.
For these, and the fake friendships continue essentially.
yeah, still really like interesting ending for that character.
I feel bad for Elizabeth Olsen's husband, because he seemed like a down-to-earth guy. Like, he's not doing social media things. He's just trying to like do real art. I mean, real art kind of with these like weird hashtags on paintings, but
Well, he's trying to do pop culture art.
yeah, but something like physical, right?
Yeah.
And like he's not getting anywhere. And also he won't suck up too. We should also mention that. He won't go anywhere to get people to, you know what I mean? I think his wife even says like you should like let me post them and like, you know, do stuff like this. He's like, "No, like I want to do it and like earn my way." But the movie's kind of showing like that way really doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Times are changing.
That they are.
But yeah, and do we have anything else we want to hit on?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty straightforward. I guess the meaning of the movie is pretty consistent throughout. Yeah, I don't think there's like a ton of complex things. I guess it's trying to say, but it says like the main thing it's trying to say like very well.
Yeah, I just think it's a really interesting character to follow.
It is
A
definitely
very interesting take on society.
Yeah, definitely relatable in today's world.
Yeah, I guess I can just kick the ratings off with an 8 out of 10 for me. I've seen it twice already. I'm pretty sure that's where it's staying.
I've seen it once. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have it at a 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely would recommend everyone to see it. But yeah, I mean, I really don't have like a ton of complaints. To me, it's just like kind of like a simple movie that discusses like, you know, the kind of the state we're in with all this social media. And I think it does that extremely. But yeah, I guess beyond that, that's like the main thing I got from it. But definitely enjoyable. I'll definitely watch it. That's for sure. So I would definitely, as I said earlier, recommend watching.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10 as well. I thought like they got the perfect lead role for this. Aubrey Plaza, obviously, she did such a great job playing Ingrid, and even Elizabeth Olsen, like that was a good pick too for her character. But they definitely had like chemistry together. You could tell like they it wasn't like fake. It was very realistic, and like the entire movie was about social media and like trying to get popular in that way because you can't get popular the old-fashioned way anymore. But yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend watching this one. It's definitely an interesting take on our society and like where we're going. So, give it a check. Check this one out.
I agree. So, I believe, yeah, Sky, you're the one that picks next for us.
Yeah, so we're gonna try round 2, the sisters brothers, and yeah, we had to wait a whole extra round until I could pick again, but I hope it will be worth it. And it is on Hulu.
Good old Hulu. But yeah, I am very excited to watch that movie.
Same.
Good old
Super
Walking
excited.
the Dream. So yeah, if you guys like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like and a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations. To keep up with updates and other news regarding this podcast, follow our Twitter and like our Facebook page listed in the description below. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nah, I think that's
Nope.
about it.
Alrighty. See you tomorrow.